Servant leadership is a wonderful concept. I have here the 25th edition of Greenleaf's book with a foreword by Covey and an afterword by Singy. It's a marvelous piece. But I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about this idea of servant leadership. Let's see it right here in the first page. He takes his story, the journey to the east of the little servant named Leo, who accompanies this group of travelers. He, notice, does menial chores, sustains them with spirit and song, has extraordinary presence, and while he is there, all goes well. But when he disappears, the group falls into disarray and the journey is abandoned. He serves the group, and thus the group is able to complete the task. Now, that's the concept of servant leadership. You provide the group what they need in menial chores, or in song and spirit, or in extraordinary presence. Those are certainly three different kinds of things, so that they can accomplish the goal. They can advance the organization. They can move the ministry forward. Here's where I think we miss it. Servant leadership does not mean you do the work for the group. No, you provide what the group needs to do the work. You don't make the journey for the travelers. You provide the travelers with what they need so they can keep walking and keep moving and can make the journey. This means that you can't always solve every problem. Sometimes the group needs to solve their own problems. That's part of the journey. You can't adjudicate every conflict. Sometimes they need to adjudicate their own conflicts. That's part of maturing. You can't have everybody happy all the time. Sometimes they need to get over to McDonald's and buy their own Happy Meal and change their own attitude, because that's part of developing professionally. But it does mean in the work that you do, and in your own song and spirit of encouragement, and in your very presence, you provide the team with what they need in order to accomplish the task. That's Greenleaf's concept of servant leadership. Now, what did Jesus have to say? This is a different concept. It is certainly in line with what Greenleaf said, but it is much deeper and much more demanding. He says, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave, just as the Son of Man," and here it is, "did not come to be served, but to serve." And the context, "and to give his life as a ransom for many." Now, those are two different things. To serve and not be served. We all know the leader that wants to be served and has no intention of serving others. I think I used to work for a guy like that. He always talked about servant leadership. We chuckled on the staff. We said, yeah, we understand servant leadership. We're here to serve the leader. There's another way to look at it, and that's the leader who says, I am here to serve, but also to be served. And frankly, that's most leadership. We are calculating returns. You have to calculate a return on investment. If I put my time and energy on this, what comes back? How does it advance what's going on? How does it move the agenda forward? And so we calculate back and forth. I am going to serve, but I expect that my agenda will also be served. Important. Works. But on rare occasion, on wonderful times, at extraordinary moments, there is a high, holy act of serving with no calculation for return. No figuring how your bread comes back across the waters. No calculation for your return on investment, how your agenda will be advanced in the long run. That is a deep change in the heart. Folks, that's amazing. Now, I'm going to push it into organizational culture. How about the organization whose culture is to be served, but they have no intention of serving, thus Enron, ethical breakdowns right and left. A better culture. They intend to serve, but they also intend to get a return on that service, a return on investment. And you've got to hold those in balance and do it with high integrity. And that's good ethical businesses. They operate that way. But on occasion, what would it mean for an organization, a church, a business, to actually put something out there in service to the community without any calculation on return? I think it'd be a story to tell. I think it would help shape the culture from there on out. It's a powerful idea, this willing to serve and not be served. And Lord, help me. Help us. Keep that vision before us as your servants.